Hey guys, what is up? It's Dusty here, and welcome back to another crypto video. And today's video is packed with news. We have XDC, XRP, Algorand, Solana, general crypto stuff, just a ton to talk about. So I recommend you guys to watch this video all the way through so you don't miss out on anything important. And it might also be smart to subscribe to the channel. But for right now, the XRP price is doing quite good. We are still in a little bit of an uptrend over the last week or so, and we got a little bit of a break of trend for just 1 hour. However, we cannot see this as a breakout because it wasn't confirmed. It's just one candle that closed below there, and I'm not really seeing anything negative more so than just that. Mostly, I'm not that negative because Bitcoin is actually still going upwards following the trend, and the XRP to BTC pair, showcasing how XRP is performing relative to Bitcoin, is also still going up. So it actually means XRP is still performing better than Bitcoin is, and since Bitcoin is performing positively, I think only good of XRP too. Then guys, we just got ourselves a new lawsuit document. I made a video on it explaining everything I thought and everything we found out. But the conclusion, if you don't want to sit through 40 minutes of the live stream, which I still think was very entertaining, is that as it currently stands, there's a very high chance, once more our own opinion, that William Hinman will be deposed, which basically means that Ripple will get to question him, and the only caveat is that the SEC might object a couple of different questions, but that's again the caveat. The judge will have to decide that on a question per question basis. So Ripple might just put up a list of questions. The SEC can look at some of the questions which they do not like and ask the judge if those may or should not be asked, basically. All right, having said that, I've been reading quite a lot of stuff here, and of course, you guys know, I read a lot of crypto news, and one of the things I just saw was this article, and multiple articles have this exact same title. It's just basically a subject that SoftBank invests $200 million in Brazil's largest cryptocurrency exchange. This instantly got me thinking for three reasons. One, it's a $200 million investment in the crypto space. That's pretty huge. Second of all, I guess it had bank in the name and invested in an exchange. I was like, Then I recognized though that it was, connected to Ripple. And three, since I know then that SoftBank is over in Japan and I saw the connection to Brazil, my head started spinning a little bit because I know there's already a couple of connections right there between Japan and Brazil. And of course, we already got quite a lot of clarity over in Japan, where SoftBank is basically at. And Latin America is the emerging region for right now, so this connection is also quite logical from that perspective too. So what exactly did I find out? Well, if you don't remember, SoftBank is actually a Japanese company, been there for a long while, used to be actually together with SBI until they split in 2006, but both SBI and SoftBank are actually working with Ripple. This has been known for a very good while. Here's an article that actually popped up like a couple of weeks ago, which is basically that Ripple partners SoftBank and Coinbase bet $26 million on crypto company launched by ex-Microsoft executive. Now, from this perspective, actually, if you start to look at it, a Brazilian crypto firm has raised money from investors including Coinbase and SoftBank. I mean, they have invested a couple $1,000,000 here. Now, again, another $200 million there. They are focusing on Brazil. And again, like I just said, Ripple is connected to SoftBank. They have a partnership together. Here's actually where you can kind of understand it. Ripple supported MoneyTap is owned by them. MoneyTap we've talked very often about over on this channel. Not specifically that good for XRP, but mostly good for Ripple. However, it's huge. It's really, really huge, MoneyTap, and the capabilities of that. But of course, we know Ripple's connections to Brazil. We know it's really big. We know they have actually put up a couple new heads over there. And if you're wondering why I had this open, it's actually just to show you guys how severe SoftBank is in terms of money. It is so ridiculously big. Look at some of the companies that they own, right? Look at their subsidiaries. For example, WeWork, SoftBank Investment Advisors. I'm not exactly sure what those are, but they have a quarter share in Alibaba Group, T-Mobile US quarter share, Z Holdings. I don't know exactly what that is supposed to be, but they have a really, really good okay, it's actually all in Japan, but it owns Yahoo, for example, right? They just have a lot of freaking control. Let's just call it like that. They're big. This is a really, really freaking big company. That one's again connected to Ripple, which is again connected to all of this then, And again, kind of thinking that Ripple has been putting a lot of pressure on Brazil lately, and this money tap connection to Brazil, I mean, it's all lining up perfectly, and I'm thinking, well, I'm not exactly sure how far they're going to take it, but SoftBank developing this and broadening their horizons, I mean, we know the remittances are pretty big in those areas. I just popped up India remittances here for ourselves. Why? Well, actually because of this article right here. Indian crypto exchanges are having a hard time doing business with banks. This article is actually quite relevant because in India, commercial banks are still reluctant to partner with crypto exchanges. This is actually reported recently by Reuters, and recall that in early May, the National Payments Corporation of India announced that the decision to support or restrict crypto transactions has been left with individual banks, and more recently, there were reports that state officials were no longer looking to ban Bitcoin. Instead, they're considering the idea of classifying crypto as an alternative asset class. But despite these seemingly pro-crypto initiatives, financial institutions are not interested in working with crypto trading platforms, as crypto exchanges are having a hard time opening accounts with them. These institutions are arguably taking a cue from the Federal Reserve Bank of India's warning to steer clear of crypto. And that's to me pretty interesting because if you look at the potential in Ripple doing more business there, don't get me wrong, Ripple is doing a lot of business over there, but doing more business there and having more capabilities, it's such a huge remittance country. It's one of the biggest ones out there. I mean, if you just think about it, why would they ever be so against it if they're so ridiculously huge? I really don't get that. I literally do not get why they would want to stick away from all of that stuff when they're so ridiculously much in necessity of it. It's mind-boggling to me. I've told you guys that a couple of times right now, but I think as time moves on, though, they will have to adapt. It will change. And Ripple/XP, the tech, it's made for India, man. It's really made for India. It's made for Brazil. It's made for, I guess, Japan. I would say Japan to Brazil is a really big corridor. The UAE to India is a really big corridor, or I guess the other way around as well. You guys get the idea, right? There's so many connections we just have to make because there's so many money transfers. And, well, since usually these are not hundreds of millions of dollars that they're sending, but let's say, for example, $400 every single time, maybe less, maybe $100 every single time, those should not have to pay these high fees. No, they should be as low as possible, if not free. Which, again, currently the system is skewed. It doesn't really work that way just quite yet, but it will be fixed, at least I hope. Then, talking about XDC just for a little second, I want to tell you guys that I actually support this crypto quite significantly. I don't really give you guys too many updates on it. Why? Not exactly sure, but I do hold and I do support it, mostly on the idea that we've been reading into the last couple of weeks. I mean, I posted, I think, 2-3 updates over the last month or so about XDC. Haven't really gotten too far into it, but in addition, XINFIN works with governments to eliminate inequalities in global infrastructure development. As a result, the blockchain helps to finance global infrastructure projects that governments are unable to sponsor. It comes to that idea, right? Of course, XINFIN also working on these cross-border transactions, making them, working them out, but we're not talking about that too far today. I just want to quickly tell you guys, I like the idea. And the same thing is actually there about Solana and Algorand, two things we've talked about on the channel quite often. By the way, Solana has been doing quite a lot. DexLab, for example, has raised $1.44 million to make launching on Solana easy. I'm not going to go too far into this. It's not really that relevant, but Solana is being worked upon quite heavily right now. This is one of the articles we had recently. Digital Assets AG launches tokenized stocks on the Solana blockchain. They're making headway that other cryptos have actually never gotten to. And that's actually the fun part about Ethereum. Right now, it's the biggest platform, but it still has some things that are built, or different, let's say it differently. There's still things which are actually never built on Ethereum, but on other platforms, mostly because of other capabilities. And Solana is a really good example of all of that. And moving over into Algorand, I've actually been really getting myself familiar with that one, mostly on the basis of this article a couple of weeks ago. I posted this article when it came out, guys, and I told you from this point on forward, I'll be putting way more money into Algorand, and I did. Arrington Capital launches $100 million Algorand ecosystem fund. When this came out, guys, I got extremely bullish because I know that if these guys put up such huge funds to build ecosystem, they're invested, they're gonna, give it some headway. And the same thing with Matic. I told you guys that a long time ago, we're talking last year. I told you guys about Matic, saying, hey, I'm buying it, mostly because Coinbase Ventures was invested in it. It's just a big thing. If you see a crypto doing quite good, and you see a Coinbase or a Arrington Capital or a Winklevoss, I'm not sure which one, but you guys get the picture, investing in it, you already know, okay, there's a good chance that once the project just starts out or gets further, that it's going to get either a listing on Coinbase or a listing on, pick a different exchange, a Kraken, for example. You pick it, but that's again why they have some of these strategic partnerships or some of these, just partnerships in general. It's something I'm also watching as well all the time. Just watching for more investments from these big companies, because then I might want to get in. And of course, Algorand on its own is also expanding like crazy. Here's, for example, the Algorand virtual machine available in the latest protocol update. And here was, let's quickly see the title. Algorand gets cozy with crypto custodian Copper. Algorand is looking beyond Copper's safekeeping provisions to explore the custodian's clear loop system of instant asset exchange and settlement. It's just a start, all right? It's just a start. If you guys enjoy these cryptos, though, let me know in the comment section and we'll talk about them more further. Right now, I didn't get too far into them. It's just kind of a small little overview, but let me know down below and I'll talk to you guys a little bit again later today or tomorrow.